I'm pro-choice because I believe that women should have the right to choose their futures.
I'm pro-life because I'm a Mormon and I'm also studying the medical field, and I just don't think it's appropriate to be killing babies.
I am pro-choice because you never know someone's situation, and I think that everyone should be able to have the choice to do what they want. So.
I am definitely pro-life. I think that abortion is murder, and no matter what, I think that it's wrong on every level possible. It's just an innocent life is being taken away from the world, and there is everything wrong with that.
I think I'm kind of both, because pro-choice, like, yeah, that's your decision to go with the baby or, like, get it killed, which sounds horrible, but it is your choice under your circumstances. But you also have to think with that choice that this is a life, a human life that you're wanting to end, that you're going to end, and that's pro-life to me.
We went into the mall and asked 20 people their thoughts and opinions on abortion. Some of them agreed to be interviewed until they found out our topic was abortion, and they simply did not want to talk about that. And only 6 agreed to be interviewed, but they did not want to be recorded. Here's what they had to say.
Robin is pro-life because she believes that you're responsible for the children you conceive.
We also interviewed Johnny, who was pro-choice. Even though he's not a woman, if he was, he'd want to have an option.
Bree is pro-life because she simply believes it's wrong.
I don't think there are any exceptions with abortion. I understand that there's the whole debate with rape, and I mean, rape is awful, it's terrible, and it should never happen, but I don't think that murder is the answer to that. And, you know, I've never had to deal with a situation like that, but it's just really hard for me to understand that taking a life away from an innocent child that hasn't even been in this world is the answer, even if, you know, rape or something like that is involved.
All right, I believe that there shouldn't be really any exceptions unless the mother's health is in danger. But if it's just a financial issue, or if the mother just can't raise the child right, then they should just put the child up for adoption.
I believe life starts, I don't know, I haven't really put much thought into it, but I believe that life starts either A, when you know, come out of your mother and get into the world, or when you start truly developing, like in your mother. But I think certain early stages aren't necessarily life.
I believe life starts in the womb. You have a heart when you're like this big, so.
Life starts, I think, when you're in heaven with God. I believe that you always have life. Whether you remember it or not, before you're born, you're in heaven with God. And I think that's where, you know, life really begins.
I believe that life starts when the conception happens, because there's still cells that come together and form life.
Candace believes that life starts at conception.
Johnny believes life starts a couple weeks in after conception.
I have not heard of him.
I've never heard of the doctor.
Robin has not heard of Gosnell.
Johnny has never heard of Gosnell.
Kermit Gosnell is an abortion doctor in Philadelphia. He was accused of the murder of 4 babies and 1 mother. The FBI originally went into his office, his clinic, to find the illegal sale of prescription drugs, but what they found was much worse. He had been killing the babies after they had survived the abortion. A couple days ago, Gosnell was found guilty of the murder of 3 of those babies and the involuntary manslaughter of the mother that overdosed on his prescription drugs. He was going to have the case appealed, but he withdrew his appeal when they agreed not to give him the death sentence. Gosnell will spend the rest of his life in prison.
There was 1.21 million abortions in 2008.
There
are approximately 677,000 adoptions a year.
36% of women looking into abortion are white, 30% black, 25% Hispanic, and 9% other.
White 37%, black 23%, Asian 15%, Hispanic 15%, other 9%.
We got a phone interview with Rebecca Sunshine from Planned Parenthood.
Well, that entirely depends on the individual patient and where that patient is. If the patient has insurance, many insurance policies do cover abortion services. If the patient does not have insurance, they may elect to pay for it themselves, or at Planned Parenthood, for example, we do have a few grants that we can make available to patients in need, dependent upon certain qualifications, such as where they live, and other grant qualifications that we have set up for that. But it's important to note that it is a federal law that no government dollars go to pay for abortion.
We interviewed Deborah Shaw from Birthright.
Well, let's see. Today I had a 41-year-old call, and she wanted a free abortion. And the reason she gave me were she was 41. She had a 6-month baby at home. Mm-hmm. She was collecting Social Security and Medicaid and couldn't go through this again. And her boyfriend fathered 7 children, and so he didn't want any more. She just couldn't do it. And basically, I talked with her. I asked her how far along she was, and she had told me 3 months. And we had talked about fetal development and what was already forming at that stage of the baby's life. I told her that she already was a mother, mm-hmm. And that, she could look at, the other alternatives as far as, like, adoption.
Yeah.
She wanted to know what our services were, and I told her that we were a pregnancy care center. So, we do the free pregnancy tests. We offer the maternity clothes and the baby clothes. We have layettes for the new mommies and diapers and clothing on an emergency basis. And basically, our options for the mommies are they can choose to parent or they can choose someone else to parent. And she just didn't feel either of those options were going to work for her. She really just wanted an abortion. She'd already had one, so she didn't think this was a problem. We did talk about, since she put God in the equation, I asked her if she was a Christian, and she said yes, she had turned her life over to Christ, and he was going to be fine with this because she knows he died for her sins. And I just went on to talk to her about how she already is a mommy, and can she imagine her life without the child she already has, the 6-month-old, which she couldn't. But in the end, it is the woman's choice. That's what our society tells women. And so, really all we can do at Birthright is to give them the information and, pray that they make a decision that they can live with for the rest of their life. So that's kind of what we do at Birthright, is just, try to educate these women who call or who come in and help them in whatever way we can.
I can tell you that I believe it's 98.5% take place during the first 20 weeks.
If I was a flower growing wild and free, all I'd want is you to be my sweet honeybee. And if I was a tree growing tall and green, all I'd want is you to shade me and be my leaves. If I was a flower growing wild and free, all I'd want is you to be my sweet honeybee. And if I was a tree growing tall and green, all I'd want is you to shade me and be